Rufus and Vanessa are once again having a way too intimate of a conversation for what the relationship should be. I guess Kelly Rutherford was busy having a kid or something.
But she's in the episode.
Yeah. As the scene ends, Rufus tells Vanessa, let's get out of here. God damn it, Rufus. Where are you taking this girl to the same age as your child?
that was okay. So there's a couple of things to break down here, right? Like Kelly Rutherford was available and in this episode. At the same time, I believe that one of the things that they're really establishing is that Rufus doesn't want to talk to Lily about money things and about money troubles because she always offers to bail him out every single time, and he doesn't like that. Why are you opening up to this child? And again, and even more, the child that just said to you, hey, I'm just trying to spend as much time here as I can before you sell it because I really like it here. And then you're like, let's get out of here. Where are you going?
Hey, Upper East Siders and all you scandal-loving listeners out there. You just tuned into the non-judging breakfast pod, where the coffee is strong, the waffles are fresh, and the gossip is hotter than ever. My name is Leif, and I'm your seasoned Gossip Girl veteran.
And I'm Steve, the newbie, the greenhorn, I don't know, Leif, what do we call this season 2 kid on Gossip Girl?
I'm not sure, but today's lesson is the subways for mole people and middle-class professionals.
All right, well, as long as you're going to triple my investment, you can just take all of my money.
That sounds good.
So here's the deal, folks. Leif has been watching Gossip Girl since it first aired, and I'm diving in for the first time. And together, we're your dynamic duo, bringing you all the drama, romance, and sometimes questionable fashion choices of this iconic 2007 series.
That's right. Each week, we'll be taking a deep dive into the show, one episode at a time. We analyze the hidden parallels and obscure references. Plus, we'll also be touching on all the behind-the-scenes gossip and some stories from Fandom.
And since we're all about inclusivity here at the Non-Judging Breakfast Pod, there is always room for you at our non-judging breakfast table. So go ahead and grab a mimosa, some coffee, or maybe some of Chuck's special medicine, and let's go ahead and get this started. Although Nate's the one who knows where all the dealers in Manhattan are, apparently.
Yes. Well, you got to be able to pick up wherever you're at. You never know. You never know when you're going to need it.
Oh, yeah, I understand.
So more news on the Blake Lively, Justin Baldoni. Baldoni has now filed a lawsuit against, I believe it's the New York Times, for defamation of character. So either way, we're gonna have at least two court cases about this and find out what happened.
Yeah, because where did this start? I thought did it start from Blake promoting it and they weren't happy with how she was promoting the film? Where like the tension, the post-movie tension started?
I mean, if you're going by the Baldoni side of the story, it's that Ryan Reynolds used his pool to like buddy up to the author who had originally sold the rights to Baldoni, but then the author gave final cut to Blake Lively.
All right. And then during the press tour, everyone basically ignored Baldoni. Everyone else on the movie ignored him and did not mention him at all, unfriended him on social media. Wow.
And there was some swirling at the beginning about was it sexual assault, but then the whole groundswell came up against Blake, and now they're saying that was a whole coordinated smear campaign. That's what Blake Lively's lawsuit's about.
Right.
So we're going to find out that. But now tabloids and I saw a couple of YouTube videos as well are trying to rope Penn Badgley into the situation.
Oh no.
Since he apparently he definitely does know both of them.
Yeah.
Dated Blake, and he's sort of friends. He's met Baldoni a few times, and Baldoni was on his podcast over 2 years ago.
Yeah. But
there's uncredited quotes from Penn Badgley in tabloids saying that he stands with Baldoni. So now Penn Badgley is going to have to make an official statement about this appearance.
Yeah. Oh wow. And yeah, and that's funny because Penn Badgley often also comes across as very anti-toxic masculinity. You were talking all before we started about how Justin Baldoni really...
That was his brand.
Yeah, that's how he established himself. And so that's really interesting because I've always kind of gotten that impression. I've found Penn Badgley also to be pretty pretentious.
Yes.
But I don't think that takes away from the fact that I feel like he's very much one to listen to women, you know?
Mm-hmm. So enough about that. We're here to talk about Gossip Girl. Season 2, Episode 22, Southern Gentlemen Prefer Blondes. Original air date, April 27th, 2009. And of course, that's based on Gentlemen Prefer Blondes, the 1953 musical comedy film starring Marilyn Monroe, also a stage play and a book. Probably best known for the number Diamonds Are a Girl's Best Friend.
Yeah. Yes.
Parodied a lot of places.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Wonderful to see it show up on Gossip Girl. Be a great thing for 100 episode. Episode written by Leila Gernstein. This is her first of 7 episodes of Gossip Girl. She was in the writer's room for 3 years, going from here till 2011. Also previously worked on the OC, and a show that I liked but not a lot of people watched was Eli Stone. She followed up this with a few other writing gigs, including Heart of Dixie, and most recently credited as a creator of a Hulu show called Saint X that released in 2023.
All right.
Episode was directed by Patrick R. Norris, back for his 5th episode in the chair. First season did Bad News Blair and High Society. Second season did The Serena Also Rises and It's a Wonderful Life. All pretty good, well-directed episodes.
Yeah. Yeah.
A lot of good.
What was this?
Yeah.
The directing was good.
Mm. Why don't you give us the Vulture recap?
All right, here you go. The characters on Gossip Girl are steeped in problems of a decidedly 2009 nature. Problems most New York residents will sympathize with. The real estate bubble, the recession, the actions of a certain imbecile former president, as Dan puts it, are taking a toll on their wallets and their psyches. But these outside forces have not changed their essential nature. Like a variety of magnets stuck in the same force field, these creatures are forced to perform a constant dance of attraction and are repulsed by one another to varying degrees. Ferromagnetic ex-lovers Blair and Chuck, for instance, find themselves suctioned together at every opportunity, and though both also feel the pull of Nate Archibald, their connection with each other is decidedly stronger. Georgina Sparks is sucked away from Jesus to lock horns with her archenemy Blair. Meanwhile, Vanessa opts to stay off the force field, that is, in Brooklyn. This episode, so repulsed is she by her encounters with Chuck Bass. Dan does too, which is a good thing for the writers, as if young Mr. Humphrey were to set foot in Manhattan, he would no doubt be propelled towards Serena, thereby disrupting the plot for everyone else and making it their another sucky episode wherein the real-life couple spends the whole hour mooring at one another. And it wasn't a sucky episode. I keep forgetting that they're still together then.
Who?
Penn and Blake.
Yes.
Yeah. So he knows her pretty well.
Yes. We get into Act 1 with the Gossip Girl narration. Eventually, every queen finds herself in unfamiliar territory outside the castle walls, in Blair Waldorf's case, the village. Nate and Blair are walking on the streets of the East Village, home of Blair's future school, NYU. Blair is a bit squeamish about subways and being out of the Upper East Side.
Yeah, this is when Nate's trying to show her around. And, yeah.
And so they decide to time jump over Blair's final interview, a chance to give us one more college interview.
Yeah, I thought that was an interesting choice that she's just in now.
Yeah.
That Cyrus just pulled the string and she's in.
Part of me would have been nice to see Cyrus again, because it's always nice to see Cyrus. Yeah. But I would have liked to see Blair have a composed college interview.
Yeah. and get it done and be
Yeah.
impressive.
Yes. Rufus is taking Dan and Jenny shopping with his real estate money. Rufus is in an ultra happy mood, and Dan spies him checking out an antique engagement ring.
So he's got this real estate money that he doesn't have.
You get a trunk. You get a trunk.
Yeah. Because I listed my gallery at more than I thought I could list it at. You didn't sell it yet. You just listed it.
Rufus is such a dumbass.
He's so fun. That's why you're only somewhere in the millions, Rufus.
Yeah. Blair and Serena are discussing their respective love lives. Blair calls out Gabriel as a foreigner and wants to spy on him with Serena.
There is zero indication of Gabriel being Southern. He
definitely has a Southern accent.
I didn't pick up on it at all. I didn't feel like...
It's not an exaggerated one, but I think it's definitely there.
Yeah, I never picked up on it. I feel like he does a Southern accent about as well as Ed does an American accent.
Nate and Chuck are shooting hoops and discussing Blair. Chuck urges Nate to talk to him about her like they used to before everything went down in season 1.
Yeah, and this is where I'm kind of like, are you working things out, Chuck, or are you making another play or doing another scheme?
I think he was actually genuine at the beginning, but as soon as Nate pushed him about it, he kind of he's like, okay,
yeah,
we're gonna do this.
Yeah, I kind of felt that too, and I got it from Nate. Like, I understood why Nate was doing that. I don't think he had to, and I think it only made things more uncomfortable.
Yeah,
but I got it
because I think Chuck, he realized that he could lose Nate this season. He definitely, I think, learned from that.
Yeah. I think so.
And as we know, he is one of the 3 things that Chuck actually loves.
Yeah. 4, but one he can't admit.
Yeah. And Chuck's athletic wear continues to impress.
Oh, yeah.
The velour tracksuit and
yes,
the ascot.
Yep. That was actually, spoiler alert, that's going to be my pick today.
Oh,
but
I wasn't saying impressing in a good way.
I fucking loved it. I thought it was the funniest thing, and I thought it was so Chuck that I had to give it the shout out.
Mr. Charming, a.k.a. Gabriel, is wowing Rufus and Lily with tales of leaving big tobacco in favor of a more altruistic pursuits. Gabriel ducks out but promises Serena that things will be different once his deal is completed.
So, I did not... My only complaint in this arc right now, I don't particularly care for the dramatic irony. I don't care to know that this is a scheme before it turns into a scheme. I'm watching him talk to Serena about this, knowing that he's doing this for the Vanderwoodson money, and that he's going to use Serena to get money for either this investment, but more likely to just rip her off, right? I see this happening. I don't know if I would see it as clearly if I didn't know it was a scheme already. I kind of wish we didn't know that Gabriel and Poppy are working together.
Yeah, it just makes Serena look dumb.
Yes, it does. Which, yeah, looks like.
Blair is outside the building in spyware. Chuck pulls up and becomes intrigued by the charade. They spot Gabriel exit the building and hop into a car with Poppy.
You met her in front of Serena's house. You had Poppy roll up in front of your girlfriend's house.
Yeah, you're just looking to get caught.
Yeah.
Also, there was really bad ADR on the explanation of Poppy. I'm not even sure if it was actually Leighton Meester saying it.
Oh, I didn't even catch that.
It's probably like a writer's.
That's funny. I wonder if she said the wrong name.
I mean, and you mean,
and then they dubbed it.
Yeah, but like the way I could tell is because the rest of the shot you could hear the ambience of New York, and then just suddenly like that all cuts out and you hear her name.
Yeah.
And we go to a commercial with another Gossip Girl blast. And when a queen discovers her best maiden is with a dragon disguise, the only thing to do is pull up the drawbridge and trap him. And we go into Act 2. The next day, Blair is telling Serena what she saw over the phone. Gabriel walks into Serena's room. However, the scene cuts before Gabriel can give his explanation.
Yeah, I didn't really have much for this. Just Gabriel, go away.
We shift back to Blair, who is now explaining the situation to Nate. Nate finds out about Blair and Chuck's impromptu spy mission, says he's fine, but his face card is telling a different story.
It's so funny how often Serena lets Blair get in her head and then doesn't right away here, that she's not trusting Blair and Blair's instincts, despite knowing that Blair calls these things a lot of the time. Like, Blair can sniff out, game knows game. So Blair can sniff out a schemer.
Yeah, but Serena's in love.
And dumb.
She's just, she's a
shiny object. Yes. Shiny object. Shiny object. Shiny object that is inappropriately older than me.
Yeah. Gabriel is explaining to Serena that he is still pretending to be with Poppy because her contacts are the ones propping up his business deal. Serena reluctantly agrees to go along with the plan for 1 week only.
Yeah, and honestly, Serena should have just said, call me in a week. Boom. Okay, if you're going to do this, go play your games. Go play your games with Poppy and call me in a week.
Are you really that horny, Serena?
Yeah, well,
yeah, kind of.
Kind of.
Because you're written by a man.
Yeah.
Actually, wasn't this episode written by a woman?
It was. But the character created.
Yes.
Well, created for television by a man.
Dan is at the coffee shop explaining his cater waiter job to Vanessa. Vanessa suggests that Dan and Jenny should let Rufus know they support him proposing to Lily. However, Rufus walks through the room having an angry telephone conversation, and the kids decide now might not be the best time.
Yeah. Yeah, Vanessa's right, though.
Yeah.
She had a good episode.
I did not mind her.
No, I thought there's a scene coming up that she was a part of that we'll discuss in more detail, but she was fine.
Yeah. Serena is trying on dresses while Blair is trying to convince her to dump Gabriel.
He's having her cake and eating it and eating yours too.
So gross.
Oh, Blair. But this is, again, like, trust Blair, because, like, just trust her. She can sniff this shit out.
Rufus and Vanessa are once again having a way too intimate of a conversation for what the relationship should be. I guess Kelly Rutherford was busy having a kid or something.
But she's in the episode.
Yeah. As the scene ends, Rufus tells Vanessa, let's get out of here. God damn it, Rufus. Where are you taking this girl to the same age as your child?
That was okay. So there's a couple things to break down here, right? Like, Kelly Rutherford was available and in this episode. At the same time, I believe that one of the things that they're really establishing is that Rufus doesn't want to talk to Lily about money things and about money troubles, because she always offers to bail him out every single time, and he doesn't like that. Why are you opening up to this child? And again, and even more, the child that just said to you, hey, I'm just trying to spend as much time here as I can before you sell it, because I really like it here. And then you're like, let's get out of here. Where are you going? Are you just kicking her out of the place that she has the keys to? Or are you taking her somewhere? Are you going somewhere with her to continue this inappropriate conversation that you already apologized for laying on her?
They really need to cast someone as one of Rufus' bandmates.
Yeah, Rufus needs a friend. Rufus just needs a fucking friend.
Or like a neighbor, anyone of age appropriate.
Yeah, like Lily has Bex, you know? Lily at least...
That's her employee.
Yes, but somebody that she can bounce things off of, you know? She has a foil that Rufus doesn't have, and it always ends up being Vanessa, and it's so weird. Because there's this part of him that it's almost fatherly to Vanessa, but lays shit on her that you don't lay on your kids.
Well, I think that's what the actor is trying to get across, but the writing is not helping him out at all.
No, never. It never helps when you have a Rufus Vanessa scene.
The actor chemistry is not romantic at all. It's just it's the situations the writers keep putting them in.
Yeah.
Nate is showing Chuck the apartment he is leasing in the fall, which is halfway between NYU and Columbia, sort of. Nate tells Chuck to back off Blair and then proceeds to pee all over the walls.
I can't blame Nate here, but also...
Oh, I can.
I get him being a jealous teenage boy, right? But also, calm down, Nate.
I mean, jealous is a feeling. Controlling is an action.
Yeah.
You know, you can't help how you feel, but you can control how you act.
Yeah, you're right.
Chuck steps outside to take a call from Blair. Blair recruits him to help with a takedown of Gabriel.
Yeah, and I mean, Chuck and Blair team-ups are really the lifeblood of the non-judging breakfast club. And those two need to scheme together. They don't always, even though they can do it platonically. We've seen them do it platonically, but they need to scheme together.
And we go to a commercial break. Queen of Hearts or Queen of Heartache. Careful, bee. Cut off the head of one love triangle, and one of your own might grow back in its place. At Lily's co-op meeting / party, Blair pulls Gabriel aside to bond with him. At the same time, we see Chuck leading Poppy into the building to reconcile with Serena.
Yeah, and then they meet and we can go to the next one.
We go. Poppy enters with Chuck and she blows up at Gabriel, who makes a big show of siding with Serena.
Yeah, and
they made that work for them.
They really did. They were right on top of it, and really
they definitely outplayed Chuck and Blair there
completely,
and impromptu.
Yeah, seemingly, unless they had if we ever get busted, this is what we do plan. But it also had to happen, right? The Poppy investors before that week had to pull out so that he could go to Serena.
Mm-hmm.
So they basically sped up their timeline, it seems.
Dan comes home to find Vanessa waiting for him with his 6-pack and a bottle of vodka. Vanessa reveals her hookup with Chuck. It sounds like she was also going to drop the bomb about Rufus's financial status.
Yeah, and she should, because you don't lay that shit on your kid's best friend. And I had another, I hope they're not going to bang, and they still haven't. And I'm really glad that they really are just being friends.
Yeah.
And I really want that to continue.
Yeah, it's the head-to-head.
Yeah.
Playing down head-to-head.
It was
very friendly. Very
friendly. And yeah, again, I thought Vanessa was good in this episode. So
there's more signs of Vanessa banging Rufus than Dan at this point.
Yeah. And reluctantly, he's my boss.
Jenny and Rufus are walking down the street. Jenny is parenting Rufus now.
Yeah. And also, Jenny, when was Rufus ever supportive of you? You're like, oh, you told me if I ever want my dreams, I've got to go get them. No, he told you stop getting your dreams and come live at home.
That was when she was 8.
Yeah, when she was 8. Yeah, you can definitely live your dreams as long as it's on my timeline. I was baffled by that interaction.
Serena is talking to Gabriel about his future and insists on helping him find new investors.
She's such an easy mark.
Yeah, the tag team, 2 episodes with Poppy manipulating her to go to Spain, and then she just they just worked her good. They worked her good. Chuck, clearly spying on the previous conversation, approaches Gabriel. Chuck is fishing for info on the first night Gabriel met Serena.
And good for Chuck for getting his hands dirty and going in the most Chuck way possible. Give me the details.
Nate surprises Blair by coming to the party. He invites Blair to move in with him, to which she happily agrees. However, Chuck approaches the pair and entices Blair with continued scheming. Gossip Girl quips. Sometimes a queen has to make a choice. A castle with the White Knight or a quest with a Dark Prince. So be, what'll it be? Netflix night with Nate or battling a beast with Bass?
Nate needs to realize this isn't about Chuck and Blair. It's about Serena. And Nate should get involved because Nate does usually get protective of Serena.
Mm-hmm.
And he's so in his head about Blair and Chuck that he's now, and like you said before, and he's trying to control this situation and trying to control Blair, and it's leading him to not do what he would ordinarily do, which is rally to help the friend.
One track mind. We move into Act 3. We come back from a commercial to see Gabriel once again charming Lily and Rufus. It looks like Gabriel has at least one new investor.
Yeah. And at least Lily has the sense to say, I need to look it over first. Send me the papers, send it to my assistant, let me look over it, but yeah, I'm interested.
Yes, but you get the sense that Lily is going to do this regardless because she wants the guy that her daughter's dating to be seen as successful.
Yeah, I totally see that too.
She couldn't give a shit about the actual company.
No. Or the money she's giving to him.
I liked what Rufus said in the earlier scene. What did he say? It's like doing well by doing good or something. Yeah, I'm sure Bass really cares about that. Bass Industries.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They'll build a hotel using the Wi-Fi, using the Wi-Fi money.
Serena and Gabriel's celebration is interrupted by Blair, who pulls Serena off to her room. Chuck and Blair fail to convince Serena of Gabriel's deceit. After Serena goes back to the party, Chuck points out that there is only one person that truly knows what happened that night.
No.
I think they did a much better job of bringing her in this time.
You're absolutely 100% right. But my first watch through at that moment, I'm like, oh God, no, please do not do this to me again. That's the last time I'm going to say anything bad about her in this episode because I actually agree that they did a far better job this time.
Vanessa and Dan are having a pity party. W catches a stray.
Former president. Dan is really being a grown-up about this, though.
Yeah.
Especially when Vanessa says, do you blame your dad? And he goes through his list of who he's blaming. And he's like, not my dad. My dad's probably the only person more upset than I am.
Mm-hmm.
So really, kudos to Dan for how he's handling it.
Maybe he should drink more. It takes the edge off.
Yeah.
Back at the party, Rufus pulls Gabriel aside and demands to be let in on the investment.
Rufus, stop fighting so hard to pay for a scam. He's so offended. And I felt like Gabriel really was like...
he felt bad about it.
Yeah. I felt like Gabriel...
Which is an interesting kind of wrinkle.
Well, I think Gabriel and Poppy are trying to rip off a bunch of people who can afford to be ripped off, who will never miss the money and never think anything of it. And now here's Rufus handing over his life savings and his life's work. And Gabriel actually is like, oh, dude, you don't want in on this. And he's like, stop looking down on me. This is how life works. He's like, fuck. If I don't take his money, I'm going to look like a huge asshole and I'm going to screw this up.
Yeah.
So I did feel there was a moment of conscience from Gabriel that it is a matter of we're going to just rip off a bunch of rich fucks who will never know this money's going.
Which is nice. He's not just a cartoon villain.
Yes. And he's, to an extent, what's the word I'm looking for? He's almost, if any of this scheme is true, it's almost Robin Hood-like, to take this money from these rich people to invest into something else, but I don't think there's an investment.
They're clearly just taking the money and running.
They're just going to take the money and run.
Yeah. And it's not like he was poor or anything.
No.
Nate reluctantly agrees for Blair to go on another mission with Chuck instead of going to look at the new apartment, which is, of course, code for taking a ride to Pound Town.
I liked Blair here asking for his trust and being like, look, you can't control this all the time. You're going to have to trust me. And he gave her that. He gave her that trust.
And now I want to see Doretta wearing a Mets hat.
Facts. Also, it's funny because in an earlier episode, the captain was talking about taking him to a Yankees game. So I've always assumed Nate was a Yankees fan. Now we're learning he's a Mets fan.
I think he's just a sports fan.
I would agree, but the fact that that the Mets play almost every day, almost 3 days a week usually at home. So if he goes to games that regularly, I'd think that that'd be more his team. But you're right. I do believe that he is just an all-around sports fan. He likes soccer.
It looks like Chuck and Blair are off to talk to Georgina Sparks. We go to the commercial with another Gossip Girl narration. Get off your brooms, kids. We're off to see the Wicked Witch of the Upper East Side. The next morning, Chuck and Blair wake up in the back of a limo, which is parked out in the woods. Oh, look, they're holding hands. We've got bullets flying everywhere this episode, and Nancy Pelosi catches one as Chuck explains he didn't really need Blair to be there at all.
Nancy Pelosi here.
I like how they both have their like little kits.
Yeah,
for cleaning up.
Blair, you can't ask for trust and then fall asleep cuddled up in a limo. And then when Chuck gives you his whole speech at the end, you can't fall for his shit because you were falling for his shit. In that moment, her reaction of being frustrated when he left, was, Blair, you asked for trust, so be
worthy of it.
Yeah, be trustworthy.
Chuck finds that Georgina has traded in boot camp for Jesus camp. OMJC.
I'm gonna say I liked Michelle Trachtenberg a lot more this episode. I liked Georgina Sparks more. This scene initially, it was like when Chuck Bass, I was about to be like, oh no. And then instantly, like when she started like where this episode takes her and her character right now, where we're seeing her at, I really liked it.
Yeah.
I really liked it.
They're leading into the zany.
Yes.
Serena and Gabriel are lying in bed basking in the afterglow. Serena catches Gabriel in a lie about the night at Butter and immediately pieces out. She's got to go.
Yeah. Maybe next time catch him in a lie before you bang. Just your post-coital. Maybe I shouldn't trust him.
It's such a weird situation because like he is with Poppy still and she's like totally cool with this, I guess.
Oh, yeah, because I guess she is. Yeah, sorry, babe, I'm going to have to bang Serena just to keep this thing up. I won't be able to keep it up. Well, because they were banging in Spain. So she already knows.
Well,
yeah.
She knows from the whole, I think it was planned from the whole start.
Yeah.
She left on purpose.
I believe you. I think that's why she introduced
the whole
Gabriel.
the whole thing was to seduce him.
Yeah.
Or seduce
so
her.
She kind of knew he'd have to be banging Serena as part of this plan. She's cool with it.
Yeah.
Poppy open.
She likes that money.
She likes the money more. Yeah. More than the loyalty.
Back at the camp, Georgina explains to Chuck how she found Jesus. She also confirms that Serena and her weren't at Butter the night before the SATs.
I found her to be more likable and believable. And I liked Chuck calling her on you're here so that your parents don't send you back to boot camp, essentially. Which I really do believe is the case. But I, again, thought that she was at least likable, that she puts on this front.
Well, they're making her a new character for the TV show now. In the first season, they tried to go with the book version, which was like a cross between Serena and Blair. It's like the charisma of Serena with the scheming of Blair.
Yeah.
And she just doesn't have that charisma of Serena.
No, she does not.
But she can be the crazy friend that just does crazy stuff.
Yeah, she can be the wild card.
Yeah. She's the Joker.
Yeah. Yeah. And again, already I like her more.
Now that Serena's gone, Poppy busts in and hops on top of Gabriel. It was a scheme all along?
What? Again, I wish we didn't already know.
Yeah.
Because we knew.
Yeah.
Surprise.
Serena calls Chuck and lets him know that he and Blair were right about Gabriel lying, but she doesn't know why. Chuck discovers that Blair took his limo, and Gossip Girl has this to say. And eventually, a queen realizes that a dark prince only has one thing on his mind, and it ain't slaying dragons. So, she takes her pumpkin carriage and goes back to the castle.
Respect Blair for seeing through the scheme at that point and then leaving. Being like, nope, I'm not dealing with this shit. Take me out of here.
And we go into the epilogue. At Gabriel's hotel, he and Poppy realize Serena's onto them when listening to a voicemail from Serena who says she is coming back.
She's so fucking idiot.
Rufus, not Serena, knocks on Gabriel's door to drop off his check for the investment.
You fucking idiot. I wanted to come here and give it to you in person. Go. All right, buddy.
Yeah. Blair goes to Nate's apartment to apologize for going off with Chuck.
I felt like Nate was pretty adult here in a lot of it. I felt like what I liked is that he came clean and was like, look, I was jealous. I was trying to control the situation, trying to control you. I'm sorry. I thought that he was maybe not adult, but he was being self-aware in that moment.
Fair, but yeah, it was already done.
No, well, I mean, yeah.
In Brooklyn, Rufus wakes up Dan with a couple of mugs of coffee and a dad talk. However, Jenny comes in with the ring Rufus had been eyeing previously.
This was sweet, but he offers to pay them back, and with what, Rufus? You just got schemed of all your money.
Well, he doesn't know that yet.
He's so confident right now.
Things are going to be great, man. Triple that money. And what money is he tripling? He sold the records.
Which also, go on tour, release a new album, go on tour. There's a market.
I mean, releasing a new album is easier said than done.
But there's clearly a market for Lincoln Hawk, right? So he could go on tour, boost the value of his catalog again. And you're right that doing an album is harder than it sounds, but it can be done. You know, go on the road, go on tour.
It took him 17 years to write one song.
Okay. Well, yeah.
He also makes chili.
He also makes chili. And waffles. But Jenny's sick of the waffles.
When Georgina finds out Blair was at the camp earlier, she decides to join Chuck for his cab ride back to the city. A dope beat drops as Gossip Girl closes out the episode.
Yeah, I liked that. Blair? And again, the needle drop. Everything.
You recognize the song?
No.
It's the same song from when they did I Killed Someone.
Oh!
The Kills URA Fever.
Yes. Yeah, I remember now. Good throwback.
Yeah. And we close with a Gossip Girl monologue. Oh, dear queen, heed the words of a king. Look like an angel, talks like an angel, the devil in disguise. Of course, reference to the Elvis song.
Yeah.
So, what's coming next?
I mean, Georgina's about to go head-to-head with Blair. Blair's trying to, they're going to... Man, there's so much about to happen because the scheme's going to come unfolded. I think we may have skipped the part where Poppy comes running back in and says to Serena, oh my God, like, I can't believe that Gabriel just packed up everything and left. So there is the question of, is this, again, part of the scheme, or is Poppy now
getting double-crossed?
Doing a double-cross, or did she get double-crossed? So there is that bubble up in the air. I just know one thing's for sure. Rufus broke.
At least he's got a rich girlfriend.
Rufus, yep. His rich girlfriend is going to...
And his kids already bought him a ring.
Yeah. The thing that he can't pay back. That he's going to need to borrow money from his fiance to pay him back to his kids.
Well, he said he's going to give him a check and it's going to bounce.
From my dad.
Go ahead and get into some segments. This week in Fandom, we jumped into the Wayback Machine to check out the Television Without Pity forums from 2009.
Hello there, Peabody here. And this is the Wayback Machine for traveling through time. And this is my boy, Sherman. Speak, Sherman. Hello. Good boy.
The biggest sentiment, Rufus, bless your heart.
Bless your heart. Oh.
Oh, sweetie.
You fought so hard for this.
They like that Serena's taking an active role in her defense this season.
Yeah.
Sorry, I mean at the end.
At the end.
Yeah. I think they might also they have seen the promo for next week, so I think they have some insight of what's happening next week.
I have not.
Weirdly rooting against Rufus and Lily and hoping the money situation will blow them up for good.
I mean, that tracks for the fandom. They're ruthless.
Before Nate was just dull, now he's a creepy asshole in addition to still being dull.
Yeah, I'm hoping that Nate learns from this and is less creepy and controlling in the future. I'm hoping that this is just a knee-jerk reaction to a situation and that he gets over this.
So you think Nate and Blair are going to last then?
I don't care if they do. I got the sense she was upset. I don't get the sense that she's necessarily ready to leave, but I think that it just kind of makes her torn a little more.
Multiple people pointed out that Columbia has a requirement for freshmen to live in the dorms.
Most colleges do. Of course, yeah, here's my dorm that I am paying for, and then here's the apartment I'm living in.
Also, Murray Hill doesn't exactly make sense geographically.
I don't know where Murray Hill is in relation to the two.
So I did look at the map. Murray Hill is like Midtown, east of Bryant Park. NYU is like southwest of the island, and Harlem is northwest. Columbia is just south of Harlem, northwest of the island.
Yeah.
So they're both on the west side, but Murray Hill's on the east side.
Yeah. And Blair hates Murray Hill.
Yes. Georgina's intro was better than this season than last. People are excited to find out what she does when she gets back to NYC.
Yeah, I'm actually intrigued about her right now.
Let's move on over to episode grades. I thought this was a pretty good episode. They got almost everyone of the main cast into the same room at the party. The only ones not there were Dan, Vanessa, and Jenny.
Yeah.
And that's the only thing keeping it from an A. I just gave it an A- because they couldn't get Dan involved.
Yeah, I gave it a B+. And I think the thing that really hurt it for me, as I mentioned way earlier, is the use of dramatic irony to let me know this was a scheme before it was unfolded as a scheme. I didn't want to know it was a scheme.
I mean, A-, B+ is pretty close. So
yeah.
On over to Stockwatch. Going up, I had Gabriel and Poppy because their scheme seems to be working. Dan because he was just he was a good brother, good son. Jenny for the same reason. She was good sister and a good child to Rufus, daughter. And also Chuck because he definitely out-schemed Nate on this one.
Yeah. So I also had Gabriel and Poppy for the same reason that their scheme seems to be working. I also had Chuck because he outmaneuvered Nate in this, and he just sort of kept his cool the entire time. I had Georgina going up for not sucking the way she did the last time she was on. I also had Jenny going up for being a sweet daughter. I did not have Dan going up because he also found out he's not going to Yale.
Fair enough. Going down, I had Serena.
Yep.
Rufus, obvious reasons we've already talked about. Lily, because she also is getting played, and Nate for being a creepy, controlling asshole.
Yeah, I had Rufus and Serena both going down. I did not have Lily because I don't think that any investment she makes will be anything that she misses. I don't think that this is I think she just she'll buy a sandwich with the money, so I don't think it'll affect her as much as it will Rufus. But
she also basically gave the endorsement for all those other people that are going to lose money as well.
Oh, that's true. Okay, send her down. Yeah, because that is her stock, is how, Lily, fuck. Yeah, that's all I had going down. I left Nate in the middle. He was a controlling asshole, but I'm a Nate stan.
Moving over to best outfits.
But here's the best outfits from the last episode we've seen.
For me, it was Chuck's purple suit with the purple bow tie and a pink shirt.
And I also had a Chuck outfit. Mine was the velour tracksuit that he wore to play basketball with the ascot to match. I loved that. Athletic wear.
Anything to plug this week?
Well, mostly just you can find me, if it's still around, you can find my TikTok at steve.marchand. That is also my Instagram, Marchion. And then you can find me at The Weed Wizard on Blue Sky. And I don't really have much else that I'm promoting at this very time.
For me, I am going to recommend the new Dexter Original Sin series. The casting is phenomenal.
I've heard that it's...
And you still got Michael C. Hall doing the inner monologues. So that's great. And the prologue of the first episode picks up right as New Blood was ending.
Oh, and I haven't seen New Blood either.
Oh.
Yeah.
Do you know what happened?
No, I just...
Oh, really?
It's all Paramount. I don't have...
Anyways, if you want to follow me on social media, you can find me on Instagram and on Blue Sky. I'm at Hot Capicola. That's HOTCAPICOLA. And if you want to follow the podcast, we're on Instagram, TikTok, Threads at Non-Judging Breakfast Pod. And if you want to check out our Patreon, our Discord server, just visit our webpage, www.nonjudgingbreakfastpod.com.
And if you'd like to send us an email and get in touch with us, we'd love to hear your thoughts and read them on air. Our email is nonjudgingbreakfastpod@gmail.com. Please also, while you're listening, give us a like, give us a follow or subscribe, or leave a comment. All of those things really boost our visibility, especially in Apple Podcasts. And tell a friend what you're listening to. Get other people listening. Tell people about the Non-Judging Breakfast Pod. Make us the water cooler talk every week.
And we will be back next week to talk about Season 2, Episode 23, The Wrath of Khan. Spelled C-O-N.
That's clever.
Yes. The Max episode description reads, Blair pressures Georgina.
All right. Yeah, I'm here for it. I'm here to see those two go toe-to-toe with Georgina 2.0.
Well, until then, you know you love us.
XOXO.
Every time you walk away or run away, you take a piece of me with you there. Every time you walk away or run away, you take a piece of me with you there. Every time you walk away or run away, you take a piece of me with you there. Oh, it seems I'm walking right to your door. My heart's still resting, looking for something more. Are you ever gonna see everything you mean to me? I'm trying really hard to believe. Every time you walk away or run away, you take a piece of me with you there. Every time you walk away or run away, you take a piece of me with you there. Every time you walk away or run away, you take a piece of me with you there. Never feels right when I'm out here on my own. I left last night and it feels like way too long. Are you ever gonna see everything you mean to me? I'm trying really hard to believe. Every time you walk away or run away, you take a piece of me with you there. Every time you walk away or run away, you take a piece of me with you there. Every time you walk away or run away, you take a piece of me with you there. Come back to me. Smile and you'll make my life complete. Every time you walk away or run away, you take a piece of me with you there. Every time you walk away or run away, you take a piece of me with you there. Every time you walk away or run away, you take a piece of me with you there. Every time you walk away or run away, you take a piece of me with you there. Every time you walk away or run away, you take a piece of me with you there. Every time you walk away or run away, you take a piece of me with you there. Every time you walk away or run away, you take a piece of me with you there. Every time you walk away or run away, you take a piece of me with you there.
Anything exciting happened this week?
Go Birds. The Eagles are going on to the playoffs next week.
Yes. Playing the Packers.
Yes.
Rematch of week 1.
Yeah, I was thinking about that someone's season is about to end the way it began. I'm super confident because we have a fantastic team, but I'm not going to be too cocky because Green Bay also has a great team.
They got a little banged up today.
Did they, Green Bay?
Yeah. It's like the receiver, Christian Watson's almost definitely done for the year, and Love hurt his throwing arm as well.
Oh, no way. Although, how many times are we going to hear Love Hurts between now?
Love hurts. Love sings.